finally here, the long anticipated Alabama waters. But before we dive right on in, because we're gonna get on the water soon, let's go over some things. We're starting from scratch, guys. I mean from scratch. Videos don't start from scratch anymore. They just don't. First and foremost, and I can't stress this enough, what I like so much about tournaments, okay, and the tournament footage I put out, is this. I can't fake it. There's nothing fake about this. Here's what I mean by that. In videos and all kinds of fish catches on TV or video, there's always editing involved, right? So it can show a bunch of different things. It can show a bunch of fish catches, but it really doesn't show you how you got there. I'm showing you how I got there from the beginning. No info, no anything. Just me going out there fishing. You can see the process take place. I think this is a YouTube series like no other. No one's ever even thought about doing it. No one's tried to do it. Hey, I don't even know how many people can do it. I think it's really new. I think it's really the grassroots, deep down, I mean, uncut, edited version of really learning how to fish, because no one shows you that part, right? They can tell you a bunch of different things, but let's just be honest, man. Some of it's not all accurate on YouTube. You really don't really know what's going on beforehand. But here, we're starting from day one, right off the bat, right on the water. I mean, no knowledge, no anything. The only thing I know is this. These are the two things I know. I've been here before, one other time, a couple years ago, and two, I know there's more grass in the lake than years past. I don't really know what that means because I haven't seen all the lake before, but I just know that's the case. That I've heard that there's more grass in it than ever before. It's all the knowledge I know of, all of it. So let's follow along, see how it progresses. I'm gonna give you right off the bat, before I even get on the water, what my mind's going on, okay? Then we're gonna just dive right on in, trying to figure out this whole Lake Guntersville deal, okay? The journey starts now. Hey, what's up everyone? Day one of practice for the Toyota Championship here on Lake Guntersville. And I say here on Lake Guntersville, that's our house. I don't really know, but I kind of know where we're at on the lake. I mean, I got here kind of in the dark. So I've only been here once, and I fished on the other end. Now I'm on this end. I don't know. If I don't do great on one end, it was okay. Something just tells me, now I think I need to be up here for whatever reason. So a little bit of a late start. When I say late, I'm just not out there like super early. Watched the Astros game last night, a little bit of a disappointment. And now I'm getting out there. It's not that I don't wake up in time. I was up early, just tired. Long drive, long week from the Bassmaster Open on Rayburn, long everything. But I'm ready to go. I still got 4 days. I got 4 days. I should be able to figure this out in 2.5 days. Hopefully, hopefully I can make a series out of this, one of them deep water series. We'll see. That's only if I catch them. I mean, maybe I can still do it even on a practice, even if I don't catch them. Y'all know me. I still make the video. Yeah, let's go. Let's go see what's up. Guntersville, man. I like this place. It's got grass, right? So as you can see, we're not very far from the boat ramp. I mean, there's the lake. Boat ramp's right in front of me. So we're gonna go in. This is, like I said, I don't even know really what boat ramp this is. I just know this is a place. There's not many of us even launching here every day. Should be all right, but I should have I had the Hummingbird mat, like the individual stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Like the individual mat, like the like. That's my buddy right there that I'm staying with, Aaron Johnson. And this is it. So I didn't even know how to get out of this place. I had to kind of follow along, and it gets really stupid shallow right through that little cutway. And this is the river I was talking about. This is the main river. I told y'all I don't get on pad really. But I did see a break over here to my right. And what I mean by a break is I saw this like little
break in the grass. Because it might be hard to see, but from right there, right in front of me, I can tell that that's a bar, and it's got grass on it. And on the other side of the bar is like a ditch, okay? So that's gonna be a main theme today. So you can see the grass in front of me, that it's matted. And that's the first bar. That's the main bar off the main river channel. Okay, so I'm basically in the main river channel. If I turn around throughout the other side, that's the main river channel. So I saw that there was a break in the grass where I could go through, and if I wanted to, fish the ditch. So I fished the main lake. I did see one, it looked like a spotted bass. Like, follow my bait. It's the only bite I've seen, or the only fish I've seen, anything. So now I'm kind of going through this little break in the grass to get on the other side of this bar. So what happens is it might be 30-something foot out there where that grass is depends. Sometimes it's 6 inches, sometimes it's 2-3 foot. On a lake like Guntersville, the further north you get, those bars get shallow. Okay, so that's something to remember almost on all TVA lakes. The further up the river you go, the bars usually consistently get shallow. So it's very shallow up on this part of the bar. Now the bars can fluctuate in the sense of, if you see to the left of me right there, there's an island right there. Okay, that's on the bar. So sometimes the bars will come up so shallow that it actually makes an island. So now I'm going on the back side of that bar, and it usually makes a ditch. Okay, that ditch is sometimes, and it's a big ditch, it's not a small ditch, as you can see, it's all the way to those trees, is what I would call this secondary ditch. Okay, and it's usually like this on both sides. So not only do we have this side of the river that looks like this, the other side usually looks just the same. So you got to realize, as I'm going down this side, I know that the whole other side of the lake is looking just like it. So I'm hoping that if I figure out something on this side, the other side might show me something similar. So this is it, guys. I'm just going. I don't really care what I'm throwing at. I'm looking around. I'll fish both sides of the ditch. I'll fish the middle of the ditch. That's kind of what I'm looking at for. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Are they on the main ditch? Are they close to the bank? Are they in the middle? This is the part from the get-go that starts bothering me, is this. There is grass. From that ditch, from the outside, there is grass from the outside of that bar on the main river channel, up on the bar, on the sides of the bar, into the ditch, all the way to the bank, all the way up next to the bank of the bank. Okay, right? There's grass the whole way. Now it does go up and down, as in it's not all, when it's in the ditch, it's deeper, right? And it doesn't grow as high, but there's grass everywhere. And it is by far overwhelming. What I will say is this: when you first get to a lake, and if you're gonna do it this way, and like I said, this is how I do things. This is why information I don't care about. It is very overwhelming. This is the hardest part sometimes of fishing, is the first moments you get out there. Now, those moments can last 10 minutes. They can last an hour. They can last even longer than that. It's very, very difficult sometimes, because sometimes I've figured it out within 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it's taken me hours. And what I'm trying to do is, if you can see, I'm picking up and I'm switching. And I'm looking for one bite. That's it, one bite. Now, in my head, I know this. I'm gonna topwater fish. I'm gonna throw my hybrid hunter. I'm gonna throw a swim jig. I'm gonna throw a swim bait. I might throw different types of topwater. I know the frog bite. I would like to get on a frog bite. I just don't really know what I should be looking at. Should I be looking at that matted grass? Should I be out here in this ditch? This is the hard part, guys. This is the part, though, that you don't really sweat too much. You just gotta kind of keep going. You gotta like it. And I can't overemphasize this, guys. It is tough. And if you saw right there, everyone runs up and down those ditches. That's not a big deal. I just didn't want to see what I was throwing. I'm just real, and I ain't even caught a fish yet. I haven't even caught a fish yet, but I just don't want really people seeing what I'm doing, so I try not to fish by anyone ever in practice, if at all possible. And I'm just going, I'm just moving and going. Now, as we move along in this, I'm showing you all this because you have to see this part of it. And what I mean by this part of it, you have to see the minutes, the hours that you go without catching a fish. That is important. That is extremely important. Every bit as important as you getting bit as the times you don't get bit. Because I'm realizing some things. I'm gonna realize time of day. I'm gonna realize the type of grass I'm not getting bit on. I'm gonna get part of the lake. You got all those things to factor in. So you got to think of time of day, part of the lake, what the grass looks like. Is it the bar? Why you're not? Is it the ditch you're not getting bit? All those things. You got to think, why are all these things? And you can see all the grass right there, right? It's just constantly, from as far as you can see, there's grass in front of me for miles, guys. I don't know the exact mileage, but it's 30 miles at least of just grass down these banks. I'm assuming. Now, I haven't been all the way down the lake, but I'm assuming. So I fished a good 30 minutes to an hour already, and it's all looked the same to me. So I'm thinking I'm gonna move on down the lake a couple miles, see if things start looking different, because I don't know what it's gonna look like further down the lake. I will tell you, on most lakes, even like this one, the lake will change. Lakes never look the same from one end to the other. Very, very few lakes do. So I go, okay, I've just been on the side of the channel. Let's go to one of the biggest creeks, or the first biggest creek I pull up to. So that's a creek in front of me. You see those green and red markers? That's indicating that that's where the creek channel leads into this creek. So now I'm kind of fishing the edges of the bars where there's the creek channel. And that creek channel on the back side where my boat is, where my motor is, that's where it leads into the river channel. Sometimes those are good places to fish, right? Anywhere where a creek leads in off the main river channel, it breaks those bars up. And there's not usually one single bar like I was fishing in a ditch. Now there's multiple bars, multiple ditches. It does different things, right? It's just sometimes you need something different. To me, I needed something different to fish rather than just miles of the same bar in the same ditch. Not because they won't get on those other places, just because I hadn't gotten bit. So I had to, I'm changing. So I stay out there 15, 20 minutes. So you can see I'm in this channel. And I'm like, all right, let's go to the bank and fish this point of the creek and the ditch, right? So the creek's to the right. That's the creek that goes back in there. I'm just gonna, I don't know, fish this point. Like I said, I bring up that map because of this one reason. If I sit there and I don't know what's good, how can I sit there and circle spots on a map if I don't know they're actually good or not? So what I like to do is I just try to fish everything. The map will come into play, I promise, guys, but only when I start getting bit. If not, it's just a map. It tells me where things are, but it doesn't give me a clue as to where fish are. Yeah, there's places on there that, let me tell you something about a map, in my opinion. If I can identify a spot on a map before I ever fished it, then so can you. And so can everyone else. That's gonna be a spot everyone fishes. So I don't care about the map. I'm just fishing things, anything. I'm going off of 20-something years of experience. Nothing about Guntersville. 20, 25 years of experience of just fishing and going, well, I've caught fish doing this before, or this makes sense. As you can hear, I'm getting out my sexy dog. Because I'm like, it's dead calm. They're gonna bite this sexy dog somewhere. I wanted, and I started with the frog, right? In a swim bait, and my hybrid hunter, and things like that, in a swim jig. But now none of those have really worked that great. So now I'm gonna slowly start getting things out. Things that I've caught them on. Sexy dog always catches them in the fall. So I'm gonna throw that down the bank a while. Did that for a little bit. Didn't really work. Now I'm back out here. I'll just zigzag back and forth from the bank, in the middle of the ditch, back out to the bar. That's what I'm gonna do. Back and forth, zigzag. Like, I'm assuming I'm gonna catch him on top of the bar. That's my assumption. Or closer to the bar. I just haven't found anything that makes a lot of sense yet. And I do know it's Guntersville. This lake has them. I don't think it should be that hard to get bit. So even a bite or two to me isn't that big of a deal. Like, it should be easy. And the fact that it hasn't been easy doesn't bother me. Realizes I just don't think I'm around any fish. Even this whole time, I just don't think I'm around a ton of fish. So right now, once again, dude, we're talking 2.5 hours, almost 3, that I have not had a bite or anything. It's wearing on me, I will admit. But I finally got my first bite.
That felt like it took forever to catch one.
I am throwing the hybrid hunter, guys.
2 hours?
I'm not really just liking anything I see yet, to be honest with you. So that's, like I said, that's me, real time. I'm just not even thrilled about it. I'm glad to finally get a bite, but I'm not thrilled about anything. Just
Number 2 came pretty quick after number 1.
now, here's the cool part.
It's gonna be like a find the least amount of grass deal. I'm pretty sure that's what it's gonna be.
Here's what I mean by that, is I'm throwing on top of the bar right here. And I'm able to throw on top of the bar. A lot of the times when I threw on top of the bar earlier, there was grass and I couldn't throw anything on it. It was too matted. This is one of the few places that the bar didn't have a ton of grass. And I was able to throw on the highest part of it. So that kind of got me a little bit excited that, okay, that made sense to me. That's what I figured. That's what I was hoping was gonna happen. And I bring up the whole Florida thing because it kind of took me a while to really understand Florida, because everything looks so good in Florida that you have to realize that sometimes less is more. And if you heard me say, like, it's going to be one of those Florida things where sometimes less of something is better than more of something. So less grass better than more of grass. So I had kind of messed around looking for some things. I was kind of getting a different idea of what I might want to do. I had fished probably another 20-30 minutes without getting another bite though. So it was just those 2. I'm starting to really focus more on that bar, on top of the bar. Like, I'm not saying I've ruled anything else out. I'm just gonna give it now more due diligence. I'm gonna sit on top of that bar more, throw more baits on top of it, And I'm not going to worry either if there is a bunch of grass up there. I'm just going to fish on top of that bar more and stop going to the bank as much. I'm talking to my buddy Aaron Johnson. That's who I stayed with. I had to ask him. I was like, hey man, you even getting bit? So we're having a little discussion. So we're not allowed to really get information in the tournament from anyone. There's an off limits rule. It wasn't very long. There's an off limits on the info rule as well. The info rule started a long time ago, but you're allowed to talk to people in the event. He's fishing the boater side, so am I. Like I said, we're staying together. We'll share info here and there about not really like, we're not sharing like detailed stuff, and we're there right off the bat. So we're both trying to like clue us in a little bit on like, hey, what do you think about this? Okay, we're kind of seeing the same thing. So that's what we're kind of discussing. We're both talking about the grass, about how much there is, and that's going to be the deal, in the sense of we're going to have to understand the grass thing and how that's going to play out. So now I came across some boat docks. I'm going to fish, not necessarily the boat docks, but the bank. As you can see how these boat docks are kind of high, in the sense of they were high, right? They were off the water a little ways. It looked like a steeper bank. I fished them just for a second. Didn't catch much. Now I'm out here on the bar again. Once again though, none of these bars and these things, I fished a long time like this without very many bites. And the 3 bites I had, although one of them was when I say a decent fish, at the time it was, you know, a 2.5 pounder. One of them was maybe a keeper at best, and the other one wasn't even close. So I'm like, okay, let's start kind of making a change. So there is this little pocket in front of me. See that little pocket to the right? There's not much to it. I'm gonna fish the mouths of both of them, and then leading into it, see what that pocket looks like. There's a pocket, that's it. That's all the pocket there is. The bank looks the same. There's not much difference to any of this. I fish all the way to the back. Fish, fish the dead end back. So I was gonna fish on the way out, but a guy pulled up there and started fishing the other point of it, the mouth of it, of where I wanted to kind of fish as well. I didn't really want to fish near anyone, so I idle around him. Now look at this bank. This bank intrigued me. I hadn't seen a bank like this. Bank had some rocks. I'm like, this is definitely different. Like, definitely. I have not seen a bank anything like this. Don't know if there's more of it. And now I'm throwing a chopo. And things got different now. Caught before. I like that bite. That bite makes a lot of sense. Some rock, not a lot of grass. I gotta keep looking for stuff like that. There's just too much grass everywhere. Too much grass everywhere. If I can find stuff like this. So I said I like that bite. Like, that made sense to me. All this made sense to me. Once again, that bank didn't last very long. Now I'm at the end of that bank to where it came into another pocket. Never had another bite. It was all right though. So I'm fishing the edge of this. And like I said, this guy going Not a big deal. That guy had to idle out of there. There's, like I said, there's bars, shallow bars. So I was right in the middle of the ditch that went into that creek. The guy had to idle right there. So now, as you can see, all I had to do was throw on the other side, and that's another bar. See how that guy took off? He finally got out there to the channel. So you have to follow those ditches out, or they'll run aground. And we usually have to fish the middle of those ditches so we can get around them. Now I'm fishing boat docks again, right? I'm not necessarily like fishing the boat docks hard in the sense of I'm not flipping them and worming them and things like that, but I do fish around them. Now the problem with all these boat docks, and what you might not realize, is the amount of grass that's around these boat docks. Like, it's matted grass around them. So you might think of this boat dock as being like there's no grass or anything like that. No, there's like grass all around these boat docks. That's why I'm throwing a top water, hybrid hunter, swim jig, whatever it is around them. I'm not even worried really about throwing up underneath them and working them real hard. Like I said, there's so much grass underneath me. But I do, you know, I cast out of here and there, underneath them. I mean, I work this whole pocket, almost all these docks, and around them, nothing. So now I'm leaving. I'll stop right here and tell you this, real quick. Last time I was here, I got onto a bite. It was in the back of some of these pockets. There was a bunch of shad, and they would school on them. Okay, they would school on the shad. And that's kind of how I thought I was going to fish my tournament. Like, it was, I could time it. I knew, like, I had like 3 to 4 places where it was going on, and it was good. And then I can't remember what happened. Maybe a front came through or something came through last time. They never schooled. They didn't do anything. And it burned me bad. So this was a pocket I have never been into, but it was one of those bigger pockets. I had some boat docks again, so I fished the boat docks, okay? This time I'm actually kind of flipping at them. I'm actually kind of working them pretty good. I wouldn't say I'm like slow fishing them, but you gotta realize these boat docks are shallow, 4 foot or less, and I'm just trying to get, you know, chances are I'm gonna get thrown in there eventually and get a bite randomly. Doesn't happen. So I fish all the boat docks on this edge, and then there's a pocket, a little bitty pocket in front of me, okay? So I'm gonna fish that pocket. Fish the pocket, it kind of makes this little shallow point out here. So now I'm on this shallow point. Now, you see me looking? Yeah, one busted. Remember, it's late in the day now. It's 1 or 2 o'clock. I have not had a good day. But it's late in the day. That sun is not from the morning sun. That is an afternoon sun that's getting close to the... trust me, I've been out here a while, but now things are starting to happen. You see, I still got my sweatshirt on. It's still cold outside, but it's starting to warm up a little bit. I'm not in too big of a hurry just yet, because I've only seen them bust a little bit. But now you can start seeing them bust in front of me. My stupid topwater's hung up in my brain, because I hadn't really thrown it. See them busting? Yeah, I look like an absolute amateur, but they are getting it around me now. You can see them. They don't look giant, but they are bass. Or I'm thinking they're bass. I'm not really even too sure. I got one. I'm really not too... I don't really want anyone to see me. And it comes off. Now, once again, I end up looking like an idiot. Get my stuff all hung up, grass on it, hooks all up in my braid. Y'all don't even want to know how long I did this for. At least 2 minutes goofing around like this. While they busted around me. But now they've even moved where, or not really moved, I think there's that many of them, that they're actually busting on the other side of me now. They're still in front of me, but now they're busting over there, to the left of me. What's happened, I'm making a cast and they show up 10 feet to the right or something like that, so I'm trying to throw right on them. Now I've got one. Now I'm like, okay. Yeah, my look around, make sure no one's around and watching, because it's going down right now, guys. I mean, I think there's a bunch of them here. And that one shows me they're not small. Let me just tell you guys, I don't leave. I'm about to figure out what's going on, and it's about to get wild. So stick around for the next episode of Alabama Waters.